tonight on Debate Amongst Friends. NBA All-Star Game recap, NBA All-Star Weekend recap, I should say. Dallas Mavericks, Misconduct, and the investigation that's ongoing. Basketball Hall of Fame finalists, NBA Tread Down recap, and more starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to another edition of Debate Amongst Friends, live on YouTube and also on Twitch. I am your host with the most, the Micros of podcasting. I am the Professor John Gotti, and always by my side, the Gutex of them all, the roaring elbow specialist of B-dorming himself. It's the Doc. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. Hopefully I'm by your side. Hopefully.
I mean, either you're by my side or, as you are right now, with me within spirit and only a voice.
Right, only a voice. And that means Chris somewhere is trolling me.
I mean, we took a bit of a hiatus, so, maybe Chris just got a little antsy and he just wanted to, reestablish the norm, which is to completely hashtag troll the doc.
Well, that's pink and black trunks, sir. That's pink and black trunks. But we got a packed show, so we can't focus so much on Chris. I mean, we got All-Star Weekend. We got the Mavericks. I mean, we got Hall of Famers. We got some NBA tonight.
We only have NBA tonight.
Shall we?
Let's debate and let's get started. The NBA All-Star Weekend went to a close Sunday evening. According to most, it was a packed weekend, but to the professor, it was a
terrible
kind of weekend itself, just because there wasn't really anything that really wowed me. I mean, granted, they did change the format of the All-Star Game, so it did kind of add a little bit more intrigue to actually, watching this game and not just using that time to mind my studies or take a nap or anything else than to watch this game on Sunday night. But had a chance to watch the game, had a chance to also just rewatch the highlights as well, too. I mean, LeBron James helped his team win, apparently. Whatever. Doc, what do you thought of the All-Star Weekend? Anything that caught your eye before we start talking about the individual events?
A sarcastic silence for this particular weekend. I understand what you're saying. The sleeplessness, the we've been here before. The dunks, the 3-point contest. The All-Star Game. A little better than, to me at least, what we got the last 3 to 5 years. But the biggest disappointment would have been the dunk contest for me. I felt the dunks, of course, they were done before, but to do it the exact same way with the jerseys on over the likes of Kevin Hart, I mean, it was kind of comical,
Kinda comical. Kinda?
I mean,
to say such an event was an Ezekiel is an understatement.
I mean, it just didn't make any sense, why. Because like I said, I think we both agreed that, I thought Larry Nance Jr. obviously won the dunk contest.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the only reason he lost is because, he missed his father's dunk the first time.
which is stupid if you think about it, though.
It
A
is.
dunk from a prior round impacting his overall score in the finals
Right.
is absolute caca.
No, it definitely is. And favoritism too comes into play. I mean, I know these are young guys, but Mitchell's kind of about to get that WWE push. So I think it's going to get to a point where he basically just got his first Money in the Bank competition, and I think he's going to be one of the next NWA. Wow, wow, NBA stars.
I mean, well, let's go through the events themselves because I do have a lot to say about the dunk contest.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start off with I don't care about the celebrity game. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not going to talk
yeah.
about it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I really want us to talk about, certain celebrities getting their little basketball on, but Doc and Prof, we can care less about them.
Indeed, indeed, I could definitely
If I
understand
didn't
that.
care about them about their careers, I don't care about them playing basketball. Okay,
It's
they all are collectively the Mario Chalmers of the weekend.
And that means they shouldn't even have a basketball in their hand.
But Saturday night, we had the seals competition. Um, I mean, I was pretty happy it was someone new. I kind of like. So one thing I would definitely show a lot of respect for is the amount of young blood getting out there to want to compete.
True. That's true.
We had the rookie out in Chicago, and we had the guy from the Nets who no one ever heard of before make it to the finals for the skills. And you laugh about it, and everyone makes a joke about it, but like it's true because
Are
no
you talking
one's
about
talking about the Nets.
Spencer Dinwiddie or Whittle?
Dinwiddie.
I've heard of him. Now,
But we're talking
I
about
would
in
say,
relevant conversations.
well, I think that's where it was kind of interesting because you think about it, even with the dunk contest, I was like, hey, why is Larry Nance wearing that Suns jersey? Like, isn't he on the Cavs? Did the Cavs release him? Like, ah, man, I don't even
You
remember
did
it
ask
now.
me that though.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I think most people, you know, I don't know. I think most people who aren't Nets fans, wouldn't know. Like, I'm sure October wasn't surprised about this guy's skills, wherever
Hmm.
October is. I mean, it's what, January, February, March, April. I mean, I guess we won't speak to him for another couple months, but I mean, I think October probably knows about this guy being a Nets fan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's neither here nor there, of course.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It does give an individual a little bit more, exposure.
I guess.
I mean, what else do you want? I mean, it's skills competition. I mean, that's it. I mean,
I
this
mean,
probably is one
I guess the
voluntary
the
thing.
concept of the game lost its luster because the past, I believe, 3 seasons, um, it were big men. I'm using
Hmm.
big men in quotes because they're supposed to be centers or power forwards, but there really isn't a. Oh, the last two. Apologies.
Hmm.
Carl Anthony Towns and KP respectively. So, I mean, this basically turned into a big man with handles competition rather than you know, find out who, as a guard or maybe even as a three, could handle the ball the best.
Right.
So, I mean, for me, that's where it lost a lot of its luster. The fact that it was, two 7-footers beating basically guards who spent their entire lives learning how to handle the basketball the proper way and not lose the ball and being able to hit pocket passes on the fly and hit drop off passes in their sleep.
I mean, but isn't that a display of the up and coming NBA? I know, we're going to talk about it, of course, but with the likes of, players like Ben Simmons, like Joel Embiid.
Hmm.
You mentioned Cat, and you got some of these guys who are 6'9", 6'10", and up, who can dribble. Where in the NBA that we loved, these guys were the Mario Chalmers who never touched the ball until they got to the block or they grabbed a rebound. So I mean, you never see Ben Wallace running down the court with the ball.
I agree with you, but there's pros and cons to that statement that you made. So the pros is, as you stated, it shows how much more dynamic the league is becoming, which of course we both love.
Hmm.
But the downside of it is showing how much the guards of the NBA are stepping away from their craft, which is,
Hmm.
being primary ball handlers and floor generals, and wanting to be more of a Steph Curry-esque type of shooter, a Russell Westbrook type shooter, instead of being able to try to average a 8 to 9 assist a game kind of person.
Well, I mean, nobody, and I think it's changed so much because the point guard position is starting to be like the center position that
Hmm.
we've been talking about all these years, where it's like technically anybody really can run a point. I mean, look at James Harden. I mean, he was a shooting guard for the most of his career, and then a crazy coach, a wide-eyed coach, comes in and says, "Hey, James Harden's not going to play shooting guard for me. He's going to be my point guard," and everybody goes crazy. Oh my God, James Harden's going to be point guard, and then they go out and actually get a real point guard and Chris Paul. They say, "Oh no, James Harden, he's still gonna be the point guard." They're gonna 50-50, and it's like, so now you look at it, even in you know, let's say in Philadelphia, Markel Fultz hasn't even played a game yet, but they have so many other players who can bring the ball up. Steph Curry doesn't have to be the only one to bring the ball up. I mean, I've seen Draymond Green bring the ball up. So it's like at one point, the Warriors will be able to have anybody bring the ball up. So I think at this point, I think a skills challenge, I would say give it maybe 2 to 4 more years, it might be rendered obsolete.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But I mean, all in all, the skills competition, it just didn't do anything for me. It was just another thing that's there to take up space. So
Something to compete with the celebrity game.
basically, as one of the worst. Well,
Right.
actually, probably the second for second place as the worst event of the weekend.
That's it.
Because the worst event of the weekend is going to come after the next one that we're going to talk about, which is the 3-point competition. So let's talk about the 3-point competition right now.
So obviously, I was watching for a three-peat, of course. I wanted to see Eric Gordon go out there and dominate, of course. Um, yeah, it didn't happen. I know. But I think a lot of people expected Klay Thompson to be out there, dominating. But again, a young player who, in his own right, he leaves Phoenix and goes to a good team. I mean, he's going to help a contender eventually. Eventually,
Hmm.
he's going to leave Phoenix if they don't get their act together. And I wouldn't be surprised if he turns that team into a winner. Um, I've always said I would love to see him, and Klay Thompson kind of, combine their powers. I think they would be a great tandem. I would love to see him go to a team like the Knicks with KP. I would love to see him go, anywhere else but here. Because Phoenix just doesn't know how to. I feel like you just smelt what Phoenix was cooking just now. It's kind of funny, but
Well, it's
you
not
know,
Phoenix that's spelling pretty pugilant right now, but
I mean, I feel like you smelt it.
I can taste it. I can taste it.
Yeah, but I think he's good. I mean, I think it was somewhat disappointing, but at the same time, I think Devin Booker is somebody who we know can shoot, and the fact that he did pretty well, it's not really surprising. I think the surprising part of the 3-point contest, I guess, had to be Paul George.
Well, not so much of being surprising, but it definitely made a lot of people. He was probably one of the biggest memes prior to Sunday. Like he was the meme of Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, before we keep going, answer this. Riddle me this, Batman. To use a quote from the Duke. Did it feel like that certain NBA players were just, happy to be there?
I mean, we're going to talk about one in particular during the game. I mean, but I would say yes. I mean, especially in the game itself, because a lot of them were reserves.
Yes.
So, I mean, of course. And you also have to think about it. LeBron and, Steph Curry picked these individuals. So, that added a little fuel to the fire. But the 3-point contest and the dunk contest, I mean, like I said, we didn't see anything new, So, yeah, I would agree that it's possible. They were just there to get their little paychecks, the little extra checks that would either go to their charities or, whatever the case may be. They probably have ridiculous parties, too. Like, the NBA party is probably ridiculous, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Who knows what goes on at those parties?
I kind of don't want to find out. And that's probably mainly because of the next story after this one.
Hey, you already heard my quote.
You saw what I did there, though.
I did.
But I mean, Devin Booker. I mean, we knew that he was a gunslinger. He's gonna go out there and shoot the ball. He shoots it effectively, and he's gonna get out of Phoenix. A lot of people who are Phoenix Suns fans are not going to be happy with that statement, but they know within, deep in the caucus of their hearts, and they whisper about it in parties, they know Devin Booker is going to leave because that's just what the Suns do. They just don't appreciate people.
And I would go on further to say that I could tell that Devin Booker has grown because even Coach Calipari, said that he had never asked him to do even half of the things that he's asked to do with Phoenix. But Phoenix has done nothing but, kind of disappoint. Like, they haven't upgraded their team in so long. And somebody actually asked me, while we were on our vacation, a little hiatus, when are the Phoenix Suns going to buy out Tyson Chandler so he can play for a contender? Which I thought was very random and weird. But, I mean, Tyson Chandler does make a good amount of money for Phoenix, and it would be beneficial for them to part ways, but I wouldn't even know where Tyson Chandler would go at this point.
But I mean, well, obviously the answer to that question is, the Cavaliers.
Wow. I mean, I don't know, because the Rockets are picking up everybody now. I mean, the Rockets are picking up everybody, so I don't even know
I hate to be that person, but I'm glad if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we would do with Tyson Chandler, but that's neither here nor there. But, I mean, I guess what's the most disappointing of this week? I mean, out of those three, if you had to pick one to watch, Celebrity Game, 3-point contest, or the skills competition, I mean, which one would you prefer? I mean, Paul George, ice cold, Bieber out there.
I mean, I'd rather went back to alma mater and sit through a 3-hour lecture.
Wow.
Than to watch any of those, because any one of those made me just want to go to sleep.
I mean, I definitely skipped them. There's no question about it. I skipped those, and I really just waited for the game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I didn't watch them either.
Yeah, I watched the highlights, of course, of the dunks, as they came in. But it was just something about it. Like, the All-Star game's never really been my thing. Just like the Pro Bowl and
Hmm.
football, it's never been my thing. And now they have a skills competition that they do, which really takes skill, to throw a ball in a net in a tight little window or to kick a punt and make it land on a certain spot. I mean, that's talent. Um, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let's jump into this All Star game itself.
Yes.
Or
Well,
the.
did we even talk about the dunk competition?
I mean, I thought we started with the dunk competition first, because it was again dunks that we had saw already. I mean, that was really it. I mean, between the legs, put my arm in the rim. I'm gonna do my daddy's dunk, my daddy. I mean, that was it. That's what the people missed. They didn't see it. I'm gonna pull out all of Vince Carter's dunks.
So
I'm
let's
gonna
talk about that. I do want to talk about that, and I also want to talk about the judges afterwards.
all of Vince Carter's dunks, or you just want to talk about the like which one do you want
Let
to talk about?
No, the most glaring one was the one that won the competition.
The is that the one where he
He
was
did
behind the back?
the 360 windmill.
Oh, okay. Which I thought was weak because he almost missed it.
Thank you. Oh my god.
He almost missed it.
I'm
It was
like
so
I
short.
feel like they just gave him the tens just because he made the dunk. That's
Maybe Ty
it.
Dillinger was out there somewhere.
Ty Dillish would have gave that a 1.
I forgot my zero at home. I mean, it's the same dunk, and he almost missed it.
I just felt like
It's the
it
same
wasn't
dunk.
like if you're gonna do a tribute dunk to possibly one of the most violent dunkers in modern history. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking post 1996. Then you need to show some violence with that dunk because that's what he did.
Well, he couldn't. I think he even said it. He said, I haven't done that dunk, quote unquote, in a long time."
Then you should have
And
kept that in the back burner.
he said, "I'm surprised I was even able to do it," which means he almost failed to do so. Because I mean, he was really, really close.
Oh my gosh, I'm just like, really, that won the dunk competition? Are you serious? Like Larry Nance, threw it off the backboard, hit it off the backboard again in midair, and then dunked it.
Had he been more powerful with that, he would have won.
I
That
feel like I
that
feel like even if he wasn't like I feel like even if he broke the freaking backboard, we both know they can't do that anymore.
right.
Like, no, no, I'm not giving that one a pass. I'm sorry, I just can't. No.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. I mean, you don't gotta give it a pass. You don't gotta give it a pass. But I feel like I said, SAWFT, it was just too soft. That's why it's like hard to talk about because it's like none of these dunks were original. Again, they dunked over Kevin Hart. Once you pull Kevin Hart out, it's like you might as well just pull out a 3-foot step ladder and just call it a day. I mean, that's it.
I mean, to, use a phrase from a very wise person back in the day for us, those dunks were all trash.
Trash. TAS. Wait, that's
Uh,
not right.
Trash!
Oh, that poor guy. Hopefully one day we get a chance to see him again.
Like, if we find him again, like, we need to sign him. Scott, I know you're out there, Scott. Make sure you sign him, please. Thank
We
you.
need to have that T-shirt on deck. Trash.
But, in all seriousness, though,
Yeah, I'm serious. It was trash.
I know.
Yeah, it
But
was pretty
like
terrible.
the judges were absolute garbage. Like,
Well,
normally we talk about the judges, oh, well, blah, 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 but that's only one judge.
right.
Only one of them up there won a slam dunk competition.
And that's no good. That's no good.
DJ Khaled was a freaking judge. Mark Wahlberg was a freaking judge. Chris Rock, who is famous for saying, that ain't right, was a judge. And you know what? That ain't right.
10 points. Good Lord, that's a lot of points for that dunk. Let me give you 6 and some change.
Oh, gosh.
I get what you're saying, though, man. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, my expectations for the dunk contest are very, very low. I would say even lower than any WWE pay-per-view.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, hopefully, someone's going to talk about changes with that, tomorrow, according to, what certain guys, certain richness explained to us earlier today. But that goes without saying.
Absolutely. I mean, thank God there's no baseball either.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's only the baseball off season, and talking about certain things in there that should definitely be talked about.
Yeah, I think somebody just got traded or signed or dealt. Yeah. I feel like you just need a baseball analyst to just save the day. We don't have to wait till October.
Well, I mean, I hope
you
not.
Won't see that in New Jersey.
I see what you did there.
But ultimately, to give those first activities, those events, a score from 1 to 10, probably a good 4. I can give it a 4.
For both Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, I can give it a 4. Yeah, 4.
It gets a 1.
Woo-wee, a 1.
And they should be lucky they didn't get half a point.
Dang. Was there any good spots for you?
Honestly, watching Devin Booker win it, and watching the guy from the Nets win.
I think the only thing that was good for me was the story of Larry Nance doing his dad's dunks. I think that was it.
Well, it was okay until he missed the first try.
Right. I mean, I don't know how he missed that. It must have been the nerves. But other than that, whatever.
Like, I think it would have gotten a 2-star if one of the dunkers, bust their butt on the floor, missing a dunk.
He should have jumped over somebody and did that dunk.
I feel like there was so much more potential there.
It was.
And it was just like with the question asked you, they were just glad to be there.
I didn't even expect Larry Nance to be in it. I don't think, usually, there's some high-profile dunkers. I didn't feel like there were any, people you were just like, oh, my God. Remember, Dwight's going to be in it. Oh, my God, Dwight. Aaron Gordon. All these guys are going to be in it. But this year, no disrespect to the guys who were in it. But, I mean, as there is a petition out now for...
No, forget that. Massive disrespect for them. No. Gee.
Did you hear that Donovan Mitchell has a rating of 50 in dunk in NBA 2K? He has a rating of 50, and he has a petition out to have it raised by 2K.
Well, tell him to dunk a little bit more viciously.
Aggressively, yes.
Don't give me those little
He might be able to get to 64 with those dunks. From 50 to 64, that's probably about
it. If they bring it up to 60, I'll be happy.
Yeah, 64 tops, because that SAWFT, man, soft.
But no other dunks really caught my eye, and I just felt like that was just the way it was for those first 2 days.
Well, the Larry Nance dunk where he did pin it off the backboard, it started out original. If he would have did something crazy like I don't know, switch your hands in midair or something like that, that would have been ridiculous.
Like if he would have brought it underneath the rim and dunked it on the other
Yeah,
side,
right, something like
like
that.
that would help. Like he had so much hang time.
He did. He really did.
Like
Oh,
he
Larry.
could have threw it up the backboard, jumped in the air, headbutted it, caught it again, and then dunked it. That would have been 50.
Yeah, maybe he got tips from LeBron.
He did got tips from LeBron.
Wow. I mean, speaking of LeBron, I mean, let's get to Sunday. I mean, I already gave it a 4. You gave it a 1. I mean, Sunday, let me tell you. So, Sunday started out as an 8.5, maybe 9. Okay. I thought it was clever to have the little production in the beginning of the show with Kevin Hart. You know, you had Queen Latifah, you had Ludacris come out, and they're talking about people becoming stars and all kinds of crap.
Wait,
Then,
that gave it an 8.5?
yes,
What?
it was interesting. It was intriguing.
That was so cringeworthy.
Wait, which part are you talking about?
The introduction to the players, right?
No, I'm not talking about that's what I'm talking about before. I'm talking about the
Oh,
little.
oh, thank goodness! Oh my gosh,
That's what,
I
that's what
almost
I'm
walked
like.
off set right
Wait, wait.
there. I almost walked
No,
off set right
you
there.
heard I said Ludacris and Queen Latifah and that other guy that I never remember his name.
Don't worry about him.
Uh,
He's
yeah,
not
it doesn't
relevant.
really matter. But then at that point, what you're talking about brought it down to a 7. I'm gonna go. Kevin Hart started out strong. Then he just went too deep into the well. Well, way too deep. Like, I mean, way too deep in the well.
hmm
The jokes weren't even funny anymore. He
Which
got to James Harden.
which goes back
James
to
Harden,
what people got upset with me about Kevin Hart. Yeah, he can be funny,
he can be.
but after a while, it just turns into a Key and Peele sketch. It just becomes too long, and it's no
Well,
longer funny.
I like Ian Pierce skits. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I think he went into a panic, desperate joke mode. So it was kind of like really, really desperate. Like you can tell it's like he was running out of jokes, and he got to introduce these people. And he's funny, so he has to make it funny. However, he ran out of jokes, so he just started making stuff and pulling stuff out of his butt, and his improvising was horrible.
It was
So that
horrible.
brought it down to a 7 for me. I mean, I was so disappointed in Kevin, but it was cool. Then Bare Naked Ladies happened. They were terrible. But then Fergie happened. And she was terrible. So, I mean, before the game even started, it was down to a 4.5. So it went from an 8.5 and it dropped a whopping 4 points for me from Kevin Hart to Fergie. I mean, luckily there were some interesting dunks. There was some interesting alley-oops that were thrown. I mean, all in all, I would say with the halftime show, because the halftime show saved and kind of erased some of the intro. So it might have ended, the game might have ended at a 6.5 for me. Because Pharrell was killing it. Pharrell and, what's that? Not Clips. What's the name of his group? I don't even remember the name of his group. Nerds. They were killing it. Amigos. They were killing it. 6.5.
I can
Maybe a
respect
7.
that. I can
Maybe a
respect that.
7 because of the dancers. They were killing it too. But the game was okay.
Had I only saw the Pharrell performance and nothing
Right.
else, it would
Right.
have gotten a solid 8.
Yes. Oh God, he was killing it.
So let's start off with an 8, and I'm gonna work my way
You
back.
can start out with an 8 and work your way back. Got it.
Kevin Hart brought down the score 4 points.
Are we starting from 10 or are we starting from that 8?
Start from the 8.
Okay, so you're down to 4 now. Oh God, that's terrible. Kevin Hart put you at 4. That means this thing is over. It's a 0. This game is not yet rated. This game is over.
Oh my goodness. The commentary during the game brought it down a point. So now we're down to 3.
Oh my God.
Because as I was alluding to you, after the game, I'm like, the commentary sucks. What are they talking about? Sometimes it's better just to shut up and talk about what's happening on the and we mention it, and people from What Culture and currently now Cultaholics talk about with the commentary. Sometimes you just gotta talk about the action. Don't make stories. Like literally, I'm just like, shut up, shut up. If you say LeBron James' name right now, I am turning this thing off. LeBron James. And I turned it off. I turned it back on afterwards.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it is too much storytelling.
It was. I didn't really care about the commentating though as much.
Well,
I didn't. Really
and I'm looking at everything as a whole.
Of course.
The game itself, I'll be honest, it definitely increased expectation because expectation was rather low for to be honest, probably everyone.
Yeah.
But the new format, now there's not a East versus West kind of thing. They're basically stealing from the NFL.
Sure.
I mean, the concept itself, it gets half a point. So now we're up to what, 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
Now the game.
Wow.
The game gets a quarter of a point, so 3.75.
Okay.
The conclusion, as much as I dislike the person of LeBron James, the player I definitely admire. I've never teetered from that statement. So
this is true.
They earned a point for
they
that.
Did.
So
I'll be honest. In the
4.75.
first half, though, LeBron hit a couple big threes that showed, tremendous growth. I think in the beginning of his career, he couldn't hit those threes. I think those were in clank, clank, clank. Russell Westbrook's still clanking out there, but that doesn't stop him from firing. What's your final score there?
4.75. So just missing the halfway point of the scores.
So if it started at 10, we would be at basically the same spot, 6.75.
Possibly, but it did start at a 10, and I gave the performance an 8.
You did. Oh my God, Pharrell and Amigos and all the dance, they was killing it. But then, they really had to come out and kill it because Fergie bombed so bad. Bare Naked Ladies, they bombed so bad. I was like, I felt bad for both, pledges of allegiance. Like, it was just like, oh my God. I saw one meme that said, Fergie's, singing was so bad, even Kaepernick had to.
That was wrong. First of all, like.
Kaepernick had to just say, please, shut it down, lady. Please. Will someone please tell her to stop singing? Yeah. But my goodness, man. But all in all, I think that's pretty good. Debate Amongst Friends basically gives it together a 5.
Basically.
That's pretty much what it is. It was due to on a stick for the most part the whole weekend. Um, Come on, give us more, give us more.
That's
I'd
all I'm
rather
trying to say.
see maybe. Did they do a? They don't do the. They should have kept doing that rookies versus sophomores. That was good.
I will
I
admit that
enjoy.
was really good, and we
I
didn't
used to
even talk
enjoy
about
that.
the U.S. versus the world because the U.S. got absolutely
I don't even know
spanked.
who was on that team because they don't put the best people on the team anymore. So
Well,
it's
they
like they
still do
put.
rookies and sophomores. It's just they now just where are
Yeah, I
you
want
from? Well,
rookies.
you're coming over here. Where are you from? You go over here.
I want rookies and sophomores. Like legit. Like it was a great concept.
I thought
Probably
it
the
was
best.
great. I thought it brought out a lot of the aggression.
Yeah.
The rookies trying to upstage. Their seniors and whatnot, and
Right.
like I felt like that brought a lot of hope for people to want to play the game aggressively versus just
Yeah.
be there for a check.
Yeah. They should
Obviously, be
definitely bring
around.
that back. They should bring that back. Because that's really where the concept should have came from. Sophomores versus you know the rookies. It just makes more sense. But hey, we can't always get what we want.
Nope.
Um, but speaking of getting what they want, I guess Mark Cuban's not going to get what he wants at all the rest of this year. He might be tanked.
I see what you did there.
Like he really might be finished. Like it's almost looking as though his ownership could be in jeopardy. I mean, you can't say tanking. That's like, you know, sitting players. I mean, you just can't say that.
You're right.
$600,000 though, which I'm sure is not a lot for him,
That's not
but
a lot for him. I mean, we're talking about the most fined owner in the NBA, in history of NBA, in fact. $600 is chump change. All the $600,000 was to try to send a message, and it was a message not well sent.
now tanking at this point, to me, and this is just my opinion, of course, I'm not sure if this is the draft to tank. I get it. You know, you want the first round pick, no, the first overall pick, but it's like the talent that's out there.
It's not there.
The Marvin Bagley, some of the other Duke players. You got Trey Young who's struggling out there. I mean, I don't know. Tanking just doesn't seem to be ever the answer to me, ever. And maybe because we've just been, so blessed. Even with the Knicks have been so good as to never be in the top, five. It's just interesting to me.
No, I agree.
But I mean, how would you feel as a fan base knowing that, hey, I mean, should I even go to these games now? And they might be trying to lose.
I mean, honestly, if I'm a fan, I go. I go because it's cheap. And we speak on experience because we used to go to the Nets games with Senior
True. Oh,
October.
yes.
Basically sitting 10 rows behind the actual floor for like $15. Yeah, this is the best
Yeah.
time to go and play and watch the Mavericks play. In fact, I might even do that. Possibly a certain doctor coming out here.
Yeah.
We might do that one night.
That might be a good idea. I think, yeah, we have to check it out. I mean, maybe the Rockets are in town.
I don't think they're in town.
I don't think so.
You
either.
should probably
I
check
just wanted
that though.
I will
You should
check. I'll
probably
definitely
get
check.
with Crystal that one and see.
Come on, Chris. You should have been already on it. I shouldn't even have to say it again.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, I think that's the one thing about it, though. I mean, I guess you're right. Cheap family outing. I guess. Hey, let's go to an NBA game. Knock it off our bucket list. Yeah, it's the Mavericks. Oh, that's fine. It's just a bucket list.
I see what you did there.
That's fine. What about? Excuse me. What about the other scandal? What in the world? What in the world?
I mean, I don't wish bad on, teams or anything like that, but the Mavericks kind of put themselves in that hole. In fact, the same person who just lost $600,000 mentioned that you know, the main catalyst of all these accusations and things that's happening should have been fired, but he
Yeah.
wasn't, which shows negligence.
No, I think the Duke on Duke It Out, mentioned that he was pretty surprised that, all these allegations were coming out around the same time. Um, I hate it myself, and I think he alluded to it, why not come out when it first happens? But, I think even with somebody like Enzo Amore's, victim, she even have said, she went to counseling for weeks and months. But I mean, I think we're talking about years.
Yes.
And that's the part where it's like, oh my goodness, like years. Oh, thanks,
And
Chris. I appreciate it.
no one, did anything about it.
Right. And that's where it's like, hey, maybe that is negligence on Mark Cuban's part. Maybe he should be fined even more. Maybe, he should get the Donald Sterling treatment. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what is the punishment for that? Letting your employees get, basically manhandled. Chris has gotten back to me. While the doc is out there, it looks like they're playing the Bulls. I think that's it, just the Bulls. Nope, just the Bulls. That's a terrible game. However, if the doc was coming out the following week, he could have saw the Rockets. Oh God, that's so close. I mean, should I just wait a week? I don't know.
I mean, technically, you could just go both.
It's still a Sunday, so that's not gonna work.
I mean, according to the grapevines, and even Helen confirmed this earlier today, the doc is now mobile.
He is. He is having pie in the country. It's great, by the way. Mobile, indeed. But I think that this does have to stop. I don't know what it's going to take to shut these things down, but definitely need to get it under control. And Mark Cuban and the Mavericks are just another, I can't even say victim, another accused.
Just another statistic.
I don't even know if I can even say that. I don't even know. I just wish people would stop it.
I mean, and granted, this would be something that I would love for the Duke to talk about in his upcoming episode of Duke It Out, which should be on this Sunday, live on YouTube and Twitch, right here on the Debate Amongst Friends YouTube channel. Also, catch us on our Twitter account, Facebook page, Facebook group, Instagram account, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and any and all podcast applications on your iOS and Apple devices.
I also have to get with the Duke because I also wanted to talk to him and see if he would be interested in talking about this so-called, was it trauma actors?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Duke would love that topic. But that's neither here nor there. But hopefully the Mavericks can dig themselves out. Hopefully they don't tank. I don't want to see that. It takes away from real basketball. I want the Rockets to earn victories. I don't want to blow them out by 60 just because they're tanking,
Yeah, but that'd be something great for you to watch live, though.
It would be, if we're raining threes from all over the place and I'm proudly wearing my Clyde Drexler jersey. It'd be awesome. It would be awesome. But that's the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, that sums up where they are. I mean, I hope Dirk doesn't retire after this terrible year, but he probably will. I don't blame him for not wanting to do another one.
Terrible.
I mean, would you want to do another one after that crap?
Heck no.
I mean,
and if Dirk is listening to us, as we all know that he is, he knows. And you know it too, fat boy. We all know. that you do not want to be on the Mavericks after this year?
I mean, really, the only person that really might be there is your boy.
Definitely not my boy, and I know exactly who you're talking about too.
I mean, Mr. Max contract himself.
Oh no.
I mean, a lot of people think he still deserves it. I mean, I don't know.
Do you still feel that way?
I don't know. I mean, the Mavericks are such a terrible team. It's hard for like they're so terrible. I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, I know they have Dennis Smith Jr. now. I mean, I don't even know, bro. I guess we should talk about something more uplifting. Hall of Fame. Something more uplifting because this talk about the Mavericks is so disappointing. Like, oh my god, that's such a downer. Like, I instantly just got sleepy just thinking about the Mavericks.
And yet, now you wonder how I am whenever I'm driving, and that's the only thing that they're talking about right now.
I can't believe that.
Either that or they're talking about their, pissant team with a star.
Well, that'll be my final thoughts. Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
But let's talk about the Hall of Fame. We now have our finalists.
Great finalists.
We have 4 first-time nominees that are now finalists. And the actual inductee will be announced at the Final Four this year during the... Ooh, I feel that already. It's the madness is starting to come.
It is really close, too. It's in the air. And Doc and Prof will be doing our own brackets.
Absolutely. But the inductees will actually be announced at the Final Four in San Antonio this year. So I'm looking forward to this.
How many people can get in?
I believe it should be, either
3? 4?
No, I think it's like 4 or 5.
So they all can get in.
No, there's a lot of people in here.
I see 6. I don't know. Maybe I'm
looking
at the wrong list.
And it's great that you not hearing this now. So now we're going to get a live reaction, ladies and gentlemen, of the docs of the finalists according to the doc. So here are all of the finalists. Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd.
Mm.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Mm.
Maurice Cheeks.
Oh, Cheeks.
Grant Hill.
Yikes.
C. Webb.
Uh-huh.
Katie Smith.
Oh.
Tina Thompson.
Tina. Oh, my God. Tina.
Coach Charles Lefty Drissel.
Now, are these all of the people that were in the running? Because I only see...
They're all in the running. They're all in the running.
Because I only see these 6 finalists, and I don't know if this website...
And they're probably just talking about the NBA players, but this is the Basketball Hall of Fame, not just NBA. So this is basketball for the NBA, the NCAA, the WNBA, and international basketball.
So I'm just going to throw Tina in there right now. And Tina was a beast.
Tina was a beast. In fact, she is a first-time nominee, and I should have said who else was the first-time nominees. Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Jason Kidd, and Tina Thompson are all first-time nominees.
I think it's going to be Tina, Mo Cheeks.
Oh, I didn't finish. I'm almost finished.
Oh, wait, which website are you looking at?
SBNation.com. SB Nation holding it down today. Also, Bleacher Report is also one of our mainstays. NBA.com and any other sports website that we are looking, and those are our sources. So if you want us to start putting the sources that we're reading off of to reference during the show, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll be sure to provide that for you. And speaking of which, tonight's Debate Amongst Friends is sponsored by Miller The High Life. They are the champagne of beer, established in 1903. Make sure you pick it up at your local grocery store, and always remember to drink responsibly and never drink and drive.
Yes. So you said you weren't finished.
Yes. So after Coach Charles Lefty Drissel. Now we have Coach Kim Mulkey, sorry. Coach Rudy Tomanovich.
Rudy T.
Referee Hugh Evans, and the Wayland Baptist University women's team. So an entire team as a whole. Now I don't remember why they're one, but let me have Chris quickly research it.
This is a lot of people, man.
Oh, because they're the winningest program in women's basketball collegiate history. And I want to say that's probably before UConn.
Right.
Which I think would be perfect. So those are all the nominees, sir. So now you can provide your reaction and your predictions of who will join the other Hall of Famers.
So I said Tina Thompson. I believe that. Now let me ask you, because another list that I saw, these are the finalists that were, okay, that must have been another list. So 13 players, coaches, and referees are on this list.
Yes.
If I had to pick, and you said only 4 people?
I think it's 4.
If it's me, I'm thinking that it's going to be Tina. I'm sticking with Tina. If this is who I think it is yeah, it's going to be Tina, Rudy T, Mo Cheeks.
Wow, what was that?
That was my excitement. Tina, Rudy T, Mo Cheeks, and either Chris Webber or Grant Hill.
That's actually a pretty solid list. I'm also gonna say Tina. I feel like her contribution to the WNBA is huge. I want to say that's probably gonna be my female vote. If they put an entire basketball team as a finalist, it's obvious they're gonna definitely try to vote them in, just because of the historical significance. So they're my other pick for it. Eventually Grant Hill needs to come into the Hall of Fame, but unfortunately it's not going to be this year.
Right.
I will say Steve Nash. Between Steve Nash and Jason Kidd, I would be happy if both of them got in. But if I had to choose one, I choose Steve Nash because he was a 2-time MVP back-to-back.
I think Jason Kidd's coaching career kind of hurt him.
I think, no. So they're not looking at full body of contribution. He's going to go in as a player, not as a So it's him just as a player.
No. It's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore.
That's not what they do. It's not like the NFL.
Nah, skip that.
You see what you see what I did there?
I know.
You see what I did there?
It's hard to ignore.
No. But what they actually do when they're considering people for the Hall of Fame, they have considerations for people as a player. If they went from a player to a coach when they was a coach, if they became an executive, that's why they put different casts in the selection process. I'm telling you, this is literally what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel as though it's hard to overlook it. I guess to me, that could have been a reason why Mo Cheeks wasn't in. You know what I mean? But I really think Rudy T is getting in. He just recently passed away. That's not a reason he's going to be in. But
at the same time, it's hard for them not to, have him in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Tina was really good. I'm sorry, she was just really good.
Like that's our
Um,
that's our overall cassetting like main
yeah,
person
Tina
going in
was.
right now, right?
Yeah, I think everybody else is kind of hit or miss. I think Ray Allen. If I had to choose, it would be. I mean, Jason Kidd provided so much to basketball, but so did Ray
Ray
Allen.
Allen did as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was Jesus Shuttlesworth. I think if Grant Hill doesn't get hurt, which I don't know, maybe Grant Hill isn't Hall of Fame worthy because of his injuries. Because if that's the case, you might as well have Penny Hardaway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean. So that's where Chris Webber would come in. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely going to be tough for them to make this decision, and I look forward to seeing who gets in. But
Yeah, because like when you think of Phil Jackson, who's currently in the Hall of Fame, you think he came in as a player or as a coach?
As a ooh, that's a good one.
Okay then. By the way, he got into the Hall of Fame as a coach, not as a player. Like that's what I'm saying. There's different casts of how people are being viewed.
But he was such a great coach that they probably like, player, yeah. Like Jason Kidd, it's like his coaching career just really wasn't doing him
Well,
any
and that's
favors.
why they're only looking at him as a player instead of only looking at him as a coach. Like they don't combine it together.
No, no, no. When I say I'm not, they're not gonna combine it. I'm talking about it's hard to overlook like
Yes.
the human factor
Yes.
of hey, we watched Jason Kidd. He was a terrible coach, great player, but terrible coach. In my mind, I'm just like, how the heck was he such a good player? But he was a terrible coach, But I don't know. It's going to be interesting though, to say the least.
It will be, and I am actually interested in watching this. I mean, of course, we're going to be watching the NCAA tournament anyway, but like this especially has me, really looking forward to this.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be good.
And it looks like, according to last year, there were 11 people inducted into the Hall of Fame. So we could actually just have everyone in there. How many
It's
did I say it
possible.
was? It was 13?
Yeah, 13. So
So
maybe 11 out of
maybe
13.
11 is the only ones. Let me check to 2016. By the way, shout outs to hoophall.com for providing us with the Hall of Fame stats and information for us. 2016 were 10, and 2015, yeah, because Cheryl Swoops was in that class. Her and Allen Iverson. So, at least 11 people going into the Hall of Fame.
That's going to be great.
So, at least 11. So, we have 13 right now, so 2 are not going in. So, of those 13, which 2 are not going in, sir?
Grant Hill and probably going to be Steve Nash.
Dang.
I don't know who Katie Smith is, honestly. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
But the fact that she's on there is important.
Wow.
I'm yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Steve Nash.
She was a former WNBA player. So she was another, pioneer for when it started, I believe.
Let me look. Let's see. Who
She is
played
currently
with
now the head coach for the New York Liberty.
New York Liberty. Got it. Hmm. I think I remember her now. Um.
She won the. She was a 7-time WNBA All-Star, a 2-time All WNBA First Team, a WNBA Finals MVP in 2008, a 2-time WNBA champion. She won the scoring championship in 2001. She's part of the All Decades team in 2006. Top 15 players of all time in 2011 for the WNBA. The top 20 at 20 in 2016. So Yeah, her resume speaks for itself right there.
Yeah, I just looking at it now. I think I recall her. Um, I think she'll be good
In fact,
over Steve
she was
Nash.
part of those championship teams for the Detroit Shocks, which I guess no one remembers at that time.
NBA was in dark a dark space.
You mean the
Yeah,
WNBA?
both.
Hilarious.
For the WWE, the
WWE.
WNBA was
Wait, are we
was a
marking right now? Is
we
this what we're doing right now? Is this marking out amongst friends?
somewhere Jay Rich is hiding behind a curtain. But yeah, I don't think Steve Nash gets in. He did a lot for basketball, but I don't think as much as some of these other people. Grant Hill and Steve Nash. Grant Hill, Steve Nash.
Grant
I'm going
Hill,
with it.
Steve Nash.
I don't know. Let's see. Let me look at referee Hugh Evans. Let's see. Do I remember Hugh Evans? Let's just double check. I'm just double checking people.
Well, I feel like he's gonna go in.
Yeah,
if I had to choose two, honestly, I would choose Grant Hill and Ray Allen.
Not Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus gonna have to wait another year.
Jesus. Wow.
I feel like and the only reason why I feel like Ray Allen would get the little nod to get up there is over like Jason Kidd is the fact that Ray Allen now has 2 championship rings.
One of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history.
So was Reggie Miller. It took him a while to get in.
I mean, Reggie didn't win the titles though either.
Okay, but if you're gonna say that though, like,
I mean, but you said it first. You said the titles, and then I just backed it up.
oh no, and I did, and
I mean,
that's what I'm saying though.
That's a 2-for-1 special right there. Get him
Oh
in
my
there.
gosh.
Steve Nash is a great 3-point shooter. Was great.
I believe he had like 4 or 5 90 50 40s.
He's great. But if I had to pick 2 people, he's out.
Wow.
Grant Hill's out.
And maybe it's a little bit of favoritism on my side because I really did like Steve Nash as he was playing.
I mean, he's great unless we're getting that women's team out of there.
Be really careful about what you say after that.
The Wayland Baptist University women's team, unless they're out.
Because people might get rather peeved at that.
How would they get peeved? Because I said the women's team, that's a part of the team. That's a part of the name. Wayland Baptist University women's team. I mean, that's what it says.
Yeah, Steve
right
Nash
there.
has a lot of 50 40s.
He's a popular player, too. I mean, listen, they're all good. That's why they're finalists. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Oh, no, I'm just looking at, like, this is one of the factors that people are going to be looking at.
I mean, unless they get rid of Coach Lefty Drysdale.
Which is a possibility.
I mean, get rid of Kim Mulkey, too, while we're at it.
I can see that you're not saying Rudy T at all.
I mean, who needs referee Hugh Evans? You know what I mean? Get rid of those people then. Let everybody else in. Rudy T's got to go. Tina's got to go. Now we looked up Katie Smith. She's got to go. I mean, get rid of these other people then, I guess.
Jason Kidd is 3rd all time in 3-point field goals made.
He played a long time.
He did play a long time.
Like I said, he was one of the best triple-double guys to ever do it.
Mm-hmm. I believe he is still, 2nd behind Magic?
He's a beast. Which is why I wouldn't get rid of him. I would get rid of Steve Nash and Grant Hill. Grant Hill should go in the same year that Penny goes in.
I see what you did there.
I know it's not his fault that he got hurt, but it's not the NBA's fault he got hurt either. What? What? Is that controversial?
I got nothing there. I got nothing there. I got nothing. I'm washing my hands of that one. I'm gonna
Oh
let
my
you. I'm gonna let you hang on to that quote right there. In fact,
God.
those out there, please clip that because
I mean, it's not anybody's fault. I mean, he gave it his all. He went out there, he played hard. He just got hurt. I mean,
yes, Jason Kidd is actually third all time in the most triple doubles.
I just don't think. I mean,
I mean, Russell Westbrook. Let's just be honest. He's definitely gonna catch Jason Kidd.
yeah, if they keep letting them grab all those rebounds, sure.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, but I guess it's time to move on. I guess
Let's
to
move
something
on.
depressing.
Oh gosh.
I guess it was
LeBron
half
James won
depressing.
the
Trade
NBA
deadline was
trade
half
deadline.
depressing.
Let's just call the spade what it is.
So let's just go through it really quickly
Oh
here.
my god.
So DeAndre Jordan was supposed to be traded, wasn't traded. I think they wanted him to go to the Cavs, the Clippers.
Well, the Cavs wanted him, but the
They
Cavs
were
wasn't
only
willing to give up certain items that.
no, 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 no. The Cavs only really wanted to give up freaking crap. I just lost his name. What's that guy? Shumpert. That's it. I think they were just offering Shumpert and maybe a pick. Who wants Shumpert?
No one does.
So that trade fell through. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that Tyreek Evans wasn't traded because I don't see anybody offering a first round pick for Tyreek Evans. And then when I first saw the report that they were asking for a first round pick, I thought it was pretty ridiculous. You got nothing.
I got nothing.
Fine. Okay, the Wizards dealt Sheldon Mack to clear space. Not even really a big deal. Sheldon
really
Mack is a travel guard. I think this is the one that really got you and your feelings and your reads too, because you had just said it.
I literally just said it.
But I mean, you got to be okay with the. I don't know. It's pretty stupid still. The Nuggets trade Emmanuel Mudiay, giving up on him really early. I thought
really early. He's only in his third season.
Yeah, I mean, he was good his first season. I remember he was killing it. The Knicks trade McDermott, which you had just said. I'm okay with getting rid of Kuzmiskis as long as they don't get rid of Doug McDermott. And then, wham! The next day, they give up McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the Mavericks give up Devin Williams, which, okay. So the Knicks get Mudiay, which is kind of weird because they had just picked up Trey Burke.
Yep.
So I felt
so now they're getting a little too heavy on the point guard position now.
They had so many forwards, now they got so many guards. You still got the rookie there.
Yep.
Who's off the court. You still got Ronnie Baker. I mean, what the heck? And you know what I found to be interesting?
In which the Knicks fan base are completely done with Ronnie Baker. like they're like, he's no Ronnie Bass, my friend. Sunshine.
I mean, what happened? I mean, you were so high on him.
I'm still high on him. Everyone else gave up on him. They said that he can't shoot, he can't defend, he can't play, he can't run, he can't do anything, and now he's hurt. They wanted him gone.
Wow. How'd you feel about the Kuzmiskis trade?
Kuzmiskis or Herman Gomez?
Hernan Gomez, excuse me.
Okay. I was about to cut the stream right there. I'm like, I did not see Kuzmiskis get traded. You're trolling me, sir.
I was playing the game, and Kuzmiskis was on the free agent list. So that's what made me think about it. So that's for future to come. Dolan's going to put Kuzmiskis on the free agent list.
That's it. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
But get this title here. Knicks ship out disgruntled big man Willie Hernan Gomez, Kristaps Porzingis' best friend. His best friend.
I mean, I don't know if it was to, you know, I don't know why they had to make that part of the story. Like, that happens all the time in sports. Why was that
I
a
don't really.
relevant story? I have no idea.
Do you think it's time to get rid of the head coach?
Yes.
I never thought he was good anyway.
I believe it's definitely time to do it in order for us to start getting to those potentials that we should be reaching.
Sorry, so you still got Kuzmiskas, you lose Hernan Gomez, you pick up Johnny O'Brien and 2 second-round picks, which, could be flipped to, I guess, a late round.
And now they're finally finished with Joakim Noah. So it looks like we might be just releasing him.
Which is good.
Which I'm fine with that. I mean, let's get him off our books as soon as possible, so we can start making better moves.
I mean, he'll still be on the books if they release him. That's why that buyout is really important.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to be a lot of money still.
I mean, whose fault was it for them to do something stupid like that?
They should have took Dwight.
I would have been. See, I don't want to say that either.
Yeah, no.
Because that's literally like the worst of two evils, and I'd rather just have both of them, burn at the NBA stakes, so to speak.
Understandable. So, all right. So let's look at some of the bigger deals. We had to talk about it. Come on. The Cavs trade everybody.
They didn't, though.
Kidding. So, obviously, the big thing here, the Cavs trade everybody that opened their mouth.
That was relevant.
Anybody and everybody that opened their mouths basically got traded.
Yep.
Starting with Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he had to go. He's questioning people's practice time, their practice effort. So they shipped him out of there. Derrick Rose, that experiment was over. He didn't say anything, but his game spoke so terribly loud that they got rid of him. Sent him to the Kings and to the Jazz. And I guess they both got released, or he got released. Isaiah Thomas to the Lakers was a shocker to me. I'm surprised the Lakers gave up what they gave up. I'm surprised they were able to, land George Hill and Rodney Hood. The Cavs did a great job. I felt like this was something that the league should have been vetoing.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. And I was literally about to say that too, so I had a chance to say it.
As I'm looking here and I'm like, don't get me wrong, Joe Johnson and, Rodney Hood and George Hill, sure, but Clarkson was the one that kind of, made me kind of go, I don't really know. It's kind of interesting that they would actually be able to pick that up, but they did add in Channing Frye and a first-round pick to kind of
their first-round pick.
Their first-round pick, which was a late-round pick. I don't know.
So now I'm like, well, obviously the league wants the Cavaliers to make it to the finals this year because with the roster that they had prior to those trades, they were not making it to the finals.
And that's so weird. And then I guess the last pick or the last trade is that they sent Dwayne Wade back to Miami for a quote-unquote heavily protected second-round pick.
Boulder Dash.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
That's just them saying, okay, Dwayne, where do you want to go? You know what, guys? I just want to retire as a Heat. I had my entire career there. I just want to finish it there. That's literally all that trade was.
He shouldn't have went there. He should have went anywhere else. He should have went anywhere else. And I'm not saying, usually I would say Houston in this situation, but
no, I know you was not going to say Houston.
Yeah, he could have went anywhere else and had a good run. Really, it would have been perfect for him. Honestly, he might not fit there perfectly, but if you'd have went to Boston, he probably would have been a lot happier. because they're running. They're doing a little bit more things, and all he would have to do is play defense and actually spot up and shoot, which is kind of what he does now.
Hmm.
Um, but Derrick Rose will be bought out. Obviously, Joe Johnson was bought out, went to the Rockets. Um, you know, I think the Jazz picking up Jay Crowder is big, which I can't believe that they traded Jay Crowder, like unbelievable. But they also got rid of Iman Shumpert. So their books are looking better and better. And get this, I was talking to one of my coworkers. Could you imagine? And I know you're gonna say it's not happening, and a lot of people are gonna say it's not happening. But what if LeBron retires after this year?
If that actually happens, I think that's probably the best thing for him to do for his legacy.
But you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna get that number one overall pick again.
Uh, well, not immediately.
No, I mean they get the next pick.
Which is interesting that you mentioned that because that was a main, discussion on like First Take and Undisputed today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if LeBron leaves again,
Mm-hmm.
how does that impact his legacy?
Well, we talked about that, and I think we had a long post about it. Some people felt highly strongly, that KD left and all these other things.
I just love how they look at things with such blinders on.
Yeah, but even this team. Listen, let me tell you, this Cavs team can't beat the Warriors or the Rockets. So they would have to hope that those teams cancel each other out somehow and don't make it to the finals. They would have to. Like that's just how it would have to go down.
Yeah, and I kind of just didn't want to talk about the Cavs because I literally just felt like it was the league trying to set them up for success because of the trade that they did with the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there really wasn't anything else that really caught our eye as we, got towards the 3 p.m. Eastern time.
It ended. Like that was it. I mean, the Cavs blew up their team, and that was really it.
Exactly. So now everyone's gonna say, well, now the Cavaliers are the favorites. Well, yeah, because they literally, got younger, which is what they really needed to do.
I'm not really so. Maybe I haven't watched them play yet, but I think that.
Well, I mean, granted, their first game as a cohesive unit was against, top threat Boston, and, they kind of destroyed them. But at the same time, Boston has injuries. Like, it's stupid because people started talking about, the Cavaliers are back and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it was one effing game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
One. This one. Like,
yeah.
It always happens with a top team for a conference. Make a big trade and they have their first game. It literally happens all the time.
That's true. I mean, that's what we expected from the Pelicans when Boogie Cousins trade went down.
Thank you.
Exactly what we expected. I mean, what the Rockets expected from the Chris Paul trade. I mean, that's just what we expected. Actually, I didn't expect them to be playing this well. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, I did.
I didn't expect us to be playing this well, and now have the versatility to really match up with anybody. We can match up with anybody at this point with the players that we have. I mean, we're talking about we have, and I don't know what it is with our fascination with forwards, but we're right back to where we were years ago, and we have like 7 forwards on the team. And the only person we'll probably get rid of is Ryan Anderson because he makes so much money. Hopefully the Knicks will take him. But other than that, man, I mean, like you said, the trade deadline was kind of a snooze fest until Cleveland, imploded. Um, and I guess that's it. I mean, it would have been interesting to see DeAndre get traded somewhere, anywhere but the Cavs. Um, but I guess they'll just have to wait.
That's straight Ezekiel, sir.
And I don't think the Clippers are that bad. Looking at the team, I mean, Lou Williams is starting to become a star again. I don't think he ever really lost his star power. He just gets a chance to actually shoot the ball down. I mean, they have Bradley, they got Jordan, they got a bunch of Rockets role players that have potential to get better with the off season. Really, it might be just time to, and I say this a lot, but get rid of Doc.
I think this is the offseason that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's over. You know, um, but then again, I thought Marvin Lewis would be gone too. So I'm not sure anymore. But I mean, I guess that's really what we had to talk about tonight.
Yes, sir. Let's get some final thoughts in, sir. What do you have for everyone tonight?
Well, I mean, since we talked so much about basketball, I guess I would throw a little football in just so that the people would, not feel like, we just abandoned them. And I mean, I'll start with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who did release Doug Martin and Chris Baker. Very disappointed in their performances last year or this year, I guess. I just felt like, it's time to make those moves. As we're deep into the off season, now we're starting to talk about franchise tags and, some players to watch out for, based on what I've seen and ESPN, the Steelers and Le'Veon Bell. It's going to be interesting to see what the Steelers do. Clearly, how one analyst, I believe it was Bill Polian, said, we have to see, how would the Steelers be without, Le'Veon Bell? Will they be able to win a Super Bowl without Le'Veon Bell? And it's like, well, they haven't won a Super Bowl with Le'Veon Bell. So they have won Super Bowls before him. They haven't won one with him. So, definitely an interesting perspective. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. The Lone Star State, team of the Dallas Cowboys have a defensive end and some offensive line free agents. They're giving the franchise tag to DeMarcus Lawrence over their offensive linemen that need to be re-signed. Interesting choice, but definitely understood. DeMarcus Lawrence is definitely somebody that would draw a lot of attention, and I'm sure people would throw a whole bunch of money at him. Hopefully, that means Dez Bryant either restructures or is released. I think that would be a story that we would like to talk about.
Absolutely.
The next one is an interesting one. Of course, Case Keenum. Obviously, the miracle for the Minnesota Vikings. They have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Yeah. Do they franchise Case Keenum? What did they do with the other 2 quarterbacks? I saw one report that had Teddy Bridgewater going to the Arizona Cardinals, which I thought was interesting. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Then the next, I know a lot of people talk and spoke of Sammy Watkins running away from St. Louis. And basically
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. I don't know why I still do that. They should have stayed in St. Louis. I'm sure he changed St. Louis. They should have, St. Louis. He, obviously was traded there from Buffalo, and they're saying that they might franchise tag him. And the last person is Sheldon Richardson for the Seattle Seahawks. Another person that might get franchised. I know there's a lot of talk of, the Seahawks letting Michael Bennett walk as he gets older. Of course, the Bucks, Gerald McCoy wants him back, as well as Aqib Talib, and bring those. They want the old Buccaneers back. So we'll see what happens. But those are my final thoughts, sir. And shout out to the Dukies, who actually should be playing right now.
You had to think about that one for a second.
I did. Go Dukies.
Go Dukies! But yeah. Thank you, sir. I have three final thoughts. My first final thought, I want to give a huge shout out to my brother from another mother, Phoenix teacher turned rapper Mega Ran, for making the Guinness Book of World Records for the most commercially available songs to reference a single video game franchise. It's quite an achievement. I believe it is for either his Mega Ran album series or the Final Fantasy series, but either or, definitely big shout outs to him. We definitely put a lot of his tracks in the show. Looking forward to play some more of tracks from him as well too. Also a big fan of the show, so that's the big shout out for this week. My second one, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, all of it's going to be based off video games this week, so just strap yourself in. My second one is something that is a little bit more important for those that are part of the unaware. A video gamer, professional video gamer, Billy Mitchell, is the quote-unquote King of Kongs for setting a world record for beating Donkey Kong with the highest achieved score in history. Well, turned out Mr. Mitchell is a cheater, and he's been exposed to the point to where now his world record runs are now omitted from the record books, full of all the shame and whatnot. He's been literally this past week been talking on certain radio shows to try to absolve his names, but unfortunately the platforms that he chose isn't necessarily helping his case. So now video game personalities who are in charge of who goes into the world record books has now erased his name from the record books for it. So that's pretty big news for it. And if you didn't get a chance to watch King of Kong, you should definitely watch King of Kong. It's a great movie for you to watch.
You're the man.
And the last one is actually something that the doc and I will be doing, possibly next week. And that is the Borderlands 2, The Hunt 2018. It is a week-long event where many YouTube personalities and Twitch personalities are playing the game Borderlands 2 by Gearbox and 2K Games to try to acquire all the different rare loot. So that's legendary pearlescence and unique blue weapon types and gear within the fastest time. And one of the things that I mentioned to the doc earlier this week was many of the personalities that are doing the loot hunt this week are donating their proceeds to certain charities. So normally, and for those that are part of the uninitiated, game streamers allow the option for viewers to send tips or donations to them to help, benefit them, help, keep their streams up and going, help them acquire the best type of technologies for them to provide the best content for the viewers. But they are trying to get people to donate, not towards themselves, but towards certain causes like St. Jude's for children and breast cancer awareness and whatnot. So I think that concept is really good. The doc and I had a chance to watch a couple of them today as well as yesterday, and definitely looking forward to throwing our names in the hat. We're not actually trying to be the first to finish, but we're definitely going to do it just for fun.
Yeah, I think it's a good, definitely interesting to watch. And, I always say that the Professor John Gotti, the King of Magic, the Show Master, the Legend, which is a conqueror of his own destiny, is so good at the game. But these guys make me want to resign. And sometimes the Professor John Gotti makes you want to just quit because he's so good at the game. But these guys just, I'm the Mario Chalmers of Borderlands compared to
Wow.
these guys. I don't even deserve a to have a controller in my hand.
Wow. And you said that with a straight face too.
I did because it's true. It's really true. Like they're really good. Like like I'm watching them, and of course, if people aren't familiar with the game, and this is just extra. But if people aren't familiar with the game, there's a uh, boss, the warrior, and one guy. I don't even know what gun he was using, and I never even realized that was a sweet spot for the warrior. But in the
Mm-hmm.
the chest area, he was just saying, and I mean, the warrior went down like a
Fast.
discount double check.
And
So
for those that don't know, the warrior is the final boss of the main story.
right. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I figure that people, if you don't know, Google it, of course, or YouTube it. But I mean, it's just interesting, to watch guys. Obviously they were using Zero, which is one of the characters, and he's really good. It was really good. We get a chance. And just FYI, Duke is winning 42-23 against Louisville
Excellent.
first half.
And the last thing I want to say before we go, the Doc and I will be starting a new show, a new podcast called Top Five Dead or Alive, where we take a subject and we'll provide our top fives for them, and we'll either debate it, have agreements for it, and why we agree on it, and even sometimes consolidate the top five list into one final top five list for you. We
And if
put out a poll yesterday for people to answer. We have several subjects for us to really try to get ourselves started. The poll ends on Sunday, so if you get yourself a chance, we'll definitely also post it in the YouTube as well too. We actually forgot to do that before we started, but if you are a member of the Debate Amongst Friends Facebook page or the group, we have posted that on those two pages, so be sure to check them out, and we'll probably post it out on Twitter after the show too.
and I'll say this also, and it's definitely going to be a show that we're going to try to do potentially either once or twice a month because there's going to be a lot of requirements of us to get these shows off. But I also say that if you have an idea, I mean, please don't hesitate to submit it to us. I mean, all of our channels are available to you. It just gives us an opportunity to provide you more content.
And that's what it's all about.
Combos, I hit them. Just
Resets.
kidding.
I got those.
Just kidding. Just kidding, Mike. Just kidding.
Terrible. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're now at Endgame. As you know, we will play a track for you to send you all home. Tonight's track is from the artist Bazzi. The name of the track is called Mine. We put the links to how you can listen to the track, and also make sure you support the artist. And also, big shout outs to Croup Dog for being our intro track ever since the start of Debate Amongst Friends. Always holding it down for us, but also be sure to check out Bazzi as well too. He has some pretty good tracks to play. This is our first time playing for it. Hopefully we can play a little bit more.
What do you think? 80 something episodes of Croup Dog?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wow.
Definitely holding it down for us. We may have to play one of his other tracks for everyone else.
Definitely.
But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Be sure to follow our social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, at the Base Among Fra, our SoundCloud account, our iTunes account, our Instagram account, our Google Play account, and you can also listen to us as you're driving into work, which is probably the best option, especially if you live in a metro area and you're stuck in traffic and your radio is just playing some whack, stupid tracks for you, download a podcast application, search Debate Amongst Friends, give us a listen. Just like the doc said, we appreciate any and all commentary and feedback and suggestions, because we're here for you. So thank you very much. Be sure to catch us every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless otherwise noted, right here on YouTube and on Twitch. And once again, I am the Professor John Gotti.
And this is Dr. Wednesday Night himself.
And we'll catch you again next time. Same podcast time, same podcast channel. Peace and love.
Taste the ocean.
I just had a little bit too much of Hennessy. Just gonna tell you how I feel. Look, you so fucking precious when you smile. Yeah, hit it from the back and drive you wild. Yeah. Girl, I lose myself up in those eyes. I just had to let you know you're mine. Hands on your body, I don't wanna waste no time. Feels like forever, even if forever's tonight. Just lay with me, waste this night away with me. You're mine. I can't look away, I just gotta say I'm so fucking happy you're alive. Yeah. Swear to God I'm down. If you down, all you gotta say is right. Yeah. Girl, anything I could do just to make you feel alright. Oh, I just had to let you know you're fine. Running circles round my mind. Even when it's rainy, all you ever do is shine. You on fire, star just like Mariah. Man, this feel incredible, I'll turn you to a bride. You're mine. Hands on your body, I don't wanna waste your time. Feels like forever, even if forever's tonight. Just lay with me, waste this night away with me. You're mine. I can look away, I just gotta say